Today we start Mercury retrograde, and I think everybody has that same kind of idea with Mercury retrograde being such a daunting thing. And, you know, there's truth to that, of course, right? There's breakdowns in communication because Mercury is going backwards. It does it 3 times a year. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of your communication is gonna, flop and fumble. It just means that you need to be a little bit more intentional with your communication. So it's really checking over those important documents an extra time, rereading those important things, making sure that you actually sent that text instead of just typing it and forgetting to hit send, things like that. But there's a deeper layer to Mercury retrograde that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. Mercury, when it goes in retrograde, it's revisiting from a mental space these things that have already come up. It's going back again to reaffirm the kind of clarity that you've come into, right? So for Mercury in retrograde, I believe it's going to be passing the Sun, the North Node, and Venus. I want to say tomorrow we actually have it conjunct in Venus again. I want to check that though. I lied. That's Friday. Mercury's going to be conjunct Venus. The energy of this, though, is you're retracing your steps from a different place that you're at now, right? So for Mercury being conjunct Venus, I know I'm dipping into Friday a little bit, but it's a really, really good example. The first time this happened, think about where you were. Now, in a different energetic space, maybe in a different physical space, you are going back through that energy to reaffirm or reevaluate where you're at mentally, but also emotionally, because this is in Pisces. All of this is happening within Pisces, which is the deep feeling sign. This is the universal heart. It's the feeling of unconditional love. So while Mercury really represents, the mental space in terms of communication, it definitely dips into the emotional space as well. So it's trusting the intuitive side of self just as much as you're allowing logic to kind of seep in. With all of that being said, the word to the wise is this. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to rush to get to a certain spot, a certain outcome. You're totally fine where you're at because you're following divine timing, which is your timing and your timing alone. It's your space of alignment. I say all this because Mercury retrograde is obviously this time of reprocessing. I think I've kind of explained that a little bit. We're also in this eclipse portal still. We started that eclipse portal on February 17th. It doesn't end until next Tuesday, March 3rd. This is this liminal space of reevaluation, of honestly coming to terms with what this year and beyond has been. This is kind of the point, at least this is how I visualize it, the point where you're pulling the arrow back and allowing yourself to get ready for the slingshot. Because from there is this quantum leap. We head into this rebirth moment that is the spring equinox, and then you're starting off this year, the fire horse, in a completely different energy than you've been in years prior.